When asked why he didn't have any friends, a man with no friends replied that friendships are like diamonds. They're pricey, scarce, and full of fakes. If you were to make 3 mistakes in a row, you would eventually conclude that there are only imitation diamonds in the world rather than real ones. And one more man said, a friend is someone to be appreciated and valued, but sadly, there aren't many friends in life who you can truly value. Do you prefer loneliness? Is another topic Haruki Murakami addresses in his book Norwegian Forest through the mouths of his characters. She questioned, patting her cheeks with her palms as she traveled and ate by herself while seated in a classroom away from other students. I don't want to be let down by anyone, so I just don't establish any more acquaintances. I don't like being alone. The friendship between a boy and an apple tree is the subject of a lovely and heartbreaking fable that everyone should be aware of. Those without friends and those who do, why don't you listen to yourself and find out the answer? The young child befriended the apple tree in the forest, visited it frequently, swung on its branches, ate the fruits it gave him, created wreaths out of the leaves, and daydreamed about being the actual king of the forest. When the boy grew tired of playing on a hot day, the apple tree would shade him from the sun, and he would fall asleep in its coolness. The apple tree believed in true and sincere friendship. As time went on, the youngster got older and started to see his buddy less frequently. He also made new friends and developed new interests, but he occasionally continued to visit the apple tree. One day, when he returned, the tree noticed that he was very depressed. Looking into his eyes, the apple tree asked his companion, "What happened to you? Do you no longer play with me? Do you not think yourself a king? Do you not swing on my branches?" The youngster said glumly, "A king must have money, and I don't have any, nor do you." The boy took the apples, took them with him, and sold them. However, he did not return to the apple tree, and it waited for him for a long time, looking at the road where he always came to it. One day he did show up, and was once again unhappy with life. "But I have apples. Take them and sell them. Then you will have money, and you will be my good and happy friend again." "Why did you take so long to arrive?" inquired the apple tree. "I have a lot of issues. Therefore I have missed you. What good is our relationship if you can't provide me a home? Everyone has a family and kids, but I'm unable to start a family of my own since I don't have a place to live." I can answer the apple tree. "When you remove my limbs and construct the house of your choice, you will once more find happiness." He removed all of its limbs, moved away, constructed his own home, got married, and lived a happy life until he was elderly without thinking back to his apple tree. However, one day he returned to it, and this time, instead of being happy to see it, he grumbled about life. "I want to sail away somewhere so I don't have to see anyone since I'm tired of everything. I need a boat, but I'm not sure where to acquire one." The man pulled out his axe and repeatedly swung the apple tree to chop down its trunk in order to create a boat. After he was successful, he went without even turning to look at the poor, tormented stump that his companion had left behind. Time passed. The apple tree remained silent and looked at his pals sadly. The apple tree stump was watered by frequent rains, the sun warmed the ground around it, and occasionally wild creatures sat on it to relax and enjoy life. However, the stump was unhappy about everything since it had lost its significance and the things it had formerly valued above all else. However, the world continued to exist, and one day the stump sent out a small green sprout from its soul, which soon developed into a young, gorgeous apple tree with a lot of strength. It started to live again and learned to embrace each new day until one day a young boy approached it and said, "Hey, let's be friends." The apple tree, with all of its branches quivering, did not respond to him. It had ceased to regard him as a true friend. In The Vampire Diaries, Damon Salvatore claims that the hardest thing is moving on from friends who have only caused him grief and disappointment. He will argue that forgetting these friends is the hardest thing to do. So if you know someone who doesn't have any friends, don't jump to the conclusion that they are bad people. Perhaps they have been someone's apple tree too often, and as a result, they have just lost faith in true friendship. It's unfortunate, isn't it? Since having no friends indicates that one has many reasons to be wary of people.